Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad to see you guys, and I am so excited to jump into it. But before we do that, there's something I wanted to talk to you about real quick. I know these last few weeks have felt kind of weird, and even though it feels like a really long time right now, when it's all said and done, it won't feel like any time at all has passed. For some of us, there's been some good things coming out of this. Our parents might be home more and we get to spend more time as a family. A lot of us have tried online school for the first time, and that's been pretty cool. For some of us, it's actually easier in certain subjects to learn the material online, and that's something you would have never known if you hadn't tried it. But real talk now, for a lot of us, it's also been kind of hard. It's been stressful and upsetting. And that's okay. That's not to mean that it's a good thing to feel bad, but sometimes you need to feel bad before everything can feel okay again. Staying busy and finding new games to play and new ways to have fun is great, and a lot of times it can help you to get through, but some days if you aren't feeling so up to trying new things or being excited, it's okay to give yourself time and space to just not be okay for a little while. It's okay to miss the way things used to be and to miss some of the things you used to like to do. That's why I'm doing this video. One of the things I used to love is going to the Palm Beach Zoo. I always go. And I always pretend it's for my nephews, but really it's just because I want to see all the animals. I haven't been able to go in a very long time, and so I thought I might share some of my favorite animals with you. Testing. I wanted to start with an animal that you guys probably already know, the flamingo. Flamingos used to live all over Florida and the eastern seaboard in general. But their feathers were so beautiful, and women wanted to use them in their hats and jewelry and for decorations. The flamingos were hunted, so now there aren't as many as there used to be. Flamingos actually mate for life, which means that once they find a boyfriend or girlfriend, they stay together forever. And one cool thing that you may not know is it's actually the girl flamingo who is in charge of choosing who to be with. A girl flamingo will find a guy she likes, walk backwards and forwards in front of him, and if the boy likes her just as much as she likes him, they might just have a nest full of eggs. Flamingos are actually born with gray or white feathers that turn gradually more pink as they grow up because of the foods in their diet. Things like shrimp and blue-green algae contain a pigment, kind of like dye or food coloring, called chrysanthemum. But some flamingos are different colors because they're actually slightly different species. The greater flamingo, which has its name because it's just a little bit larger, is actually much paler than its smaller and more brightly colored cousin, the rosy or American flamingo. Neat, huh? One of my absolute favorite animals that you've probably never even seen is called a Baird's Tapi. They live in Central America, and at the Palm Beach Zoo, they're sort of behind the restaurant where you can get lunch. These are big animals that live on land near the water, but they love to go swimming. They eat fruits and leaves, and they generally live alone, but sometimes you'll see them in groups when they're feeding, usually mamas with their babies, or older kids and teenagers. The adults are dark with light patches on the throat that are really great for hiding in the shadows. That's why it's so hard to see them when you visit the zoo. They even blend in with the surface of the water, but they make great swimmers. They're so cool looking. I think they kind of look like a cross between a hippo, a giant pig, and an anteater because of their squishy, floppy noses. One of my favorites is actually the Fennec Fox. I used to want to have a Fennec Fox as a pet, which is something that a lot of people try to do. As it turns out though, Fennec Foxes, as adorable as they are terrible pets. These little critters live in the desert, which means that they're normally awake at night when it's not so hot, and they like to burrow for their food. In the desert, that means digging through sand for bugs. However, in your house, that means digging through all of your furniture just to get to the other side. A lot of people get fennec foxes as pets, and when they find out how much work they are, they can't keep them, which means that some of the fennec foxes that you see at the zoo are actually pets that people didn't know how to take care of properly. At the zoo, they get more places to run around, people who actually know how to take care of them, and they get to be with some of their friends. Of course, one of the stars of the show at the Palm Beach Zoo is the tiger. The Palm Beach Zoo is really lucky in that they have 2 tigers, a boy and a girl. Their scientific name is Panthera tigris, but usually tigers are given common names based on where they live, like Bengal tiger, Siberian tiger, or Malayan tiger. Even though they are actually all the same species, they're just ever so slightly different. When the tigers roar, even though it isn't as loud as a lion's roar, you can hear it almost all the way across the zoo. It's amazing. Tigers are apex predators, which means that they are the top of the food chain. But unfortunately for tigers, even they can't compete with humans. People have hunted tigers for a really long time, either to protect their farms, to collect tiger furs or claws to sell, or because they believe that different parts of the tigers have special healing powers. And if that wasn't enough, deforestation is ruining the places where tigers like to live. People cut down large areas of trees and jungle for farming. And that means that the tigers don't have anywhere to hunt or find mates or raise families together. Palm sugar is one of the big crops that people grow in areas where tigers would otherwise live. So it's something that I try to skip in foods or candies when I can. It isn't always easy, and it means checking a lot of labels, but it's something that's important to me. This is why it's so great, though, that the Palm Beach Zoo has a boy tiger and a girl tiger. And even better, that these 2 tigers do more than just get along. They're going to have a baby! And Appy, the female tiger, is pregnant right now. And she looks like she's already going to be an amazing mom. I can't wait to meet her cubs. The zoo has all kinds of other animals, from burrowing owls to armadillos, kangaroos, and even a capybara. That's just basically a supersized guinea pig. Although, I wouldn't want to hold one of those in my lap. Every time I go, I try to find something new that I haven't seen before, and get to know the animals and their names and where they live. It's always great when you can go to the zoo and explore new places of the world that you might not otherwise get to visit. Well, that's it. It's only a few of the animals at the Palm Beach Zoo, but they're definitely some of my favorites. If you liked watching this video, I'm going to link down below where you can find zoos and aquariums and even museums that have live virtual tours, information about their animals, and best of all, live webcams of some of my favorite exhibits. And remember, if you're having a hard time or feeling not so great, always find an adult or someone you care about that you can talk with. Talk to your mom or your dad, a relative, your brother or sister, maybe just FaceTime a friend. But if you don't feel like talking to a person, you can always talk to the animals at the zoo. I promise, they're great listeners. Even when they can't hear you on the other side of the webcam, they can still be there for you. Until next time, stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, and be good. Bye.